Welcome to Customer Service Training Module 2. The title of this module is Business Etiquette and Professional Behavior. In this module, we'll introduce to you the concepts of business etiquette and professional behavior so that you're able to behave correctly and also able to practice professional behavior within your business. For Module 2, we will look at the following topics. We'll firstly look at what is business etiquette. Under this topic, we will define what is business etiquette and we'll look at what is the importance of business etiquette. We will then look at interpersonal skills. We'll look at what are interpersonal skills. We'll give examples of interpersonal skills. We'll look at how you can build relationships with your customers with good interpersonal skills. We'll look at how to deal with difficult customers. And we will then look at how a positive attitude can improve the level of customer service. We'll then look at professional behavior. First of all, we will define what is professional behavior. We'll look at the important elements or characteristics of professional behavior. We will then look at introductions. Introductions are an essential part of behaving professionally. It's therefore important that you know how to introduce yourself professionally. Lastly, we will look at dress and grooming. Under this topic, we will discuss how to dress appropriately and to make sure that you look presentable at all times. What is business etiquette? Business etiquette can be defined as customary rules of social behavior which govern polite behavior used in society, the workplace, or in a professional group setting. Business etiquette includes good communication skills, courtesy, helpfulness, thoughtfulness, and self-control. From this definition, we can conclude that business etiquette are basic manners. They are manners and behaviors that are expected within a business environment. Business etiquette is about treating the customer with respect. It's about being polite towards your customer. It's about how you carry yourself, how you behave towards your customers. Remember that if you treat your customers with respect and you treat them with courtesy, customers will appreciate such gestures. Remember that when you are communicating or interacting with your customers, that you communicate in a tone that is friendly and that shows respect. Remember at all times to make sure that you treat your customers with respect. Why is business etiquette important? Business etiquette is important because within the business environment, you are constantly building relationships with your customers. Therefore, you need to behave in a manner that is appropriate. Remember that within the business environment, you work with people. These people ultimately influence the success or failure of your business. Business etiquette is about maximizing your business's potential through building relationships with your customers. To be able to build and run a successful business, you need to develop what we refer to as your interpersonal skills. So what are interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills are an aspect of business etiquette and professional behavior. Interpersonal skills are what we refer to as your people skills, your soft skills. They have to do with the way in which you interact with people. How do you relate with people? How do you work with other people? As a business person, you work with customers, you work with suppliers, you work with other stakeholders like government. It could be officials from the municipality that are involved in giving you permits to operate. With all of those people, you need to have the relevant skills to be able to communicate with them, to be able to deal with them. Examples of interpersonal skills include communication skills, negotiation skills, team building skills, problem solving skills. Communication skills, we are referring to your verbal as well as non-verbal communication, as well as your listening skills. You communicate with people on a day-to-day basis, and you need to make sure that you have the relevant communication skills to be able to express yourself. Negotiation skills. As an entrepreneur, you are constantly negotiating, be it with your customers or with your suppliers, to be able to sell at the correct price and to be able to buy at the right price. Therefore, you need to have the necessary skills to negotiate contracts and agreement where both parties can benefit. You also need to have what we call a team building skills. Within the business environment, you do not operate in isolation, but you operate with a team or within a group. So therefore, you need to have the relevant skills to be able to work with people in a team or in a group. In a business, you experience problems on a day-to-day basis, and you need to come up with ways to solve those problems. Therefore, you need to have the necessary problem-solving skills. These problem-solving skills are your ability to be able to identify a problem, being able to define what a problem is, and also being able to solve the problem. When it comes to your interpersonal skills, it relates to how you connect with your customers, how you're able to create long-lasting relationships that are not just about delivering a product or service, but you're able to go beyond delivering a product or service. You're able to go beyond and you're able to exceed your customers' expectations. Part of developing your interpersonal skills is on understanding and building relationships with our customers. Building relationships with customers is developed over time. Good customer relations are beneficial to both the entrepreneur and the customer. Good customer relations is about building that special bond between the customer and the entrepreneur. How can we build good customer relations? We can build customer relations by practicing the following. Be cooperative. This means that you are willing to work together with your customers to achieve a common goal. Be respectful towards your customers. Be open to discussing problems that they may be experiencing with your product or the service that you're offering. Give each customer your individual attention. Make your customer feel valued. Treat them well. Call them by name. Make the customer feel appreciated. If a customer feels appreciated, they are definitely going to come back to buy your product or service. Stay positive throughout the interaction with your customer. By this, we mean remain positive towards the customer. Use positive body language. Smile when you are interacting with your customer. Reward loyal customers and show appreciation towards loyal customers. There's that type of customer that has been supporting your organization for years and is constantly purchasing your product or service. It's important to reward this type of customer. How can you reward this type of customer? A simple thank you, a simple message on their birthday. Or you can introduce things such as loyalty programs where they collect points every time they make a purchase at your organization. And at a later stage, they can be able to redeem those points. Another way in building customer relationships is that as an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to deal with difficult customers. From time to time, you will experience a difficult customer and you must know how to deal with this difficult customer. Previously, we discussed that to build good relationships with customers, you need to learn how to deal with difficult customers. There are 5 types of difficult customers, and you must understand each customer, and you must also come up with ways in which you can deal with these difficult customers. These difficult customers can be classified as the talker or the talkative customer, the show-off, also known as the name dropper, the doubter, the doubting customer, the impatient customer that always wants a service or a product as quickly as possible, the introvert or the extrovert. In the next slide, we will unpack how each of these customers behave and also discuss various strategies of how you can deal with each customer. Let's look at the 5 types of difficult customers, how they behave, and how you can deal with them as an entrepreneur or business owner. The first type of difficult customer is the talker. This is a talkative customer that never stops talking. They go on, and they can be quite tiring and demanding for you, the entrepreneur. However, this type of customer can be very, very good for business. Remember that if this customer gets good customer service, they will tell everyone. They will tell their friends, they will tell their colleagues, and they will tell their associates. So they are a great source of acquiring new customers. How can you deal with a talkative customer? Always look interested in what they have to say. Always ask questions to bring them back to the subject and to also show that you're interested. If you are unable to engage or to communicate with a talkative customer, always arrange to call them back so that you can engage in a conversation with them. Always allow the talkative customer to advertise your business. So remember to treat them very, very well, as they will share this good service with other potential customers. The second type of difficult customer is called the show-off. Another name for the show-off is the name dropper. This is the type of customer that lets everybody know who they are and what they do. This type of customer is trying to prove themselves. They have a strong voice and they are very, very decisive. However, they like to show off. How can you deal with a customer that is Mr. Know-it-all, the show-off? Never put them down. Avoid showing your anger or your irritation when you are interacting with them. Ask them about their past experiences. Remember, they like to show off. The third type of difficult customer is called the doubter. This type of customer likes to question and likes to doubt everything. They never quite believe what you are saying. They doubt and they question all the time. The doubter does not like to make decisions. Remember, the doubter is the customer that is unsure of themselves and they always want to double check everything. So how do you deal with the doubting customer? First of all, make sure that you know your subject, you know about your product or service so that you're able to give the doubter enough information about your product or the service that you're providing. Don't let the doubter undermine your confidence. Remain firm but polite towards the doubting customer. Allow the customer to read and gain as much information about the product from start to finish. Allow them to take their time. Always give accurate information about the product or service to the doubting customer. The fourth type of difficult customer is the impatient customer. We've all interacted with this type of customer as entrepreneurs. This type of customer is always in a hurry. They always want things done quickly and they always want things done fast. If your service is not fast enough or accurate enough, they become irritated. So how do you deal with this impatient customer? You always provide a fast and efficient service. Remember, they don't have time. When it comes to communicating with this customer, make sure that conversations are strictly focused on business. Avoid wasting their time at all costs. Always under promise and over deliver when it comes to this type of customer. The customers mentioned above can either be what we call introverts or extroverts. Introverts are more subjective. They are more interested in ideas and imagination. They tend to keep to themselves. So, introverts would mainly be the doubting customer and the impatient customer. Extroverts, on the other hand, are more objective. They are interested in events, they are interested in social activities, they love to socialize. So, the type of customer that would be an extrovert would be the talker and the show off. So, next time you are dealing with difficult customers, try to implement the strategies that we discussed and try to identify what type of difficult customer you are dealing with. Based on what we've learned about how to deal with difficult customers, let us complete the following activity. Read the case study below and then identify the type of difficult customer and advise or give recommendations on how Cynthia can deal with each difficult customer. The case study reads as follows. Cynthia Nene has been running a successful spaza shop in Kwamashu, Durban for the past 5 years. The spaza shop sells food items, airtime, electricity, and household cleaning products. Cynthia's customers are members of the community from Kwamashu K section. Mrs. Zondi is one of Cynthia's most loyal customers. She has been purchasing her groceries from the shop for the past 5 years. When Mrs. Zondi visits the shop, she spends hours discussing the latest news and gossip, taking much of Cynthia's time. Mr. Damini is also Cynthia's customer. He is always in a hurry and never has time and wants to be served as quickly as possible and will complain when he needs to wait. Mrs. Kumalo normally buys food items from the shop. She likes to take her time and examine each product before buying the product. She will check the expiry date, ask various questions before buying the product. Based on what we've read, identify the type of difficult customer and then advise how you'd go about dealing with each of these difficult customers. Part of providing good customer service is also having a positive attitude. A positive attitude is an aspect of interpersonal skills. Positive attitude improves your interpersonal relations with your customers. As an entrepreneur, it's important that you have a positive attitude. A positive attitude is about remaining calm when dealing with difficult customers. It's about remaining calm during your interactions with customers. It's about making every effort to build relationships with your customers. A positive attitude is also about being empathetic, putting yourself in the position of your customers. A positive attitude is about having a friendly smile, showing courtesy, having manners, and also having that willingness to serve your customers and being empathetic. The main ingredients of good customer service is to always have a positive attitude towards your business, having a positive attitude towards the needs of your customers as well as their personal preferences. As a business owner, it's important that you behave in a manner that is professional. What is professional behavior? Professional behavior refers to good interpersonal skills, general conduct in day-to-day working life. Professional skills has to do with the way in which you act within the business. Professional behavior applies to the way in which you do things, how you act within your business. Professional behavior applies to any type of business, regardless of size, sector, meaning that anybody that's a business owner or an entrepreneur can practice professional behavior. What are the basics when it comes to professional behavior? Always be on time. Always be punctual. If you own a convenience store and the operating hours are 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, always make sure that you are open by at least 5 to 8. Make sure that you practice good hygiene. Practice good hygiene means personal grooming, dressing appropriately, but also ensuring that within your premises you also practice good hygiene. If you know that you are operating where you are selling food, make sure that you are compliant in terms of health and safety. Make sure that the area is clean. Make sure that you dress appropriately for the product or service that you are supplying. Part of being professional means that you dress appropriately. We will touch on dress code and grooming etiquette in the next topic of this presentation. Make sure that you understand what your customer needs so that you're able to provide products and services that respond to these customer needs. Make sure that you know and understand your business. Make sure that you are competent in all areas of your business. Make sure that you understand your business. Make sure that you are able to keep records of your business. Make sure that you are able to sell your product and your service. And make sure that you're knowledgeable about your product or service. Make sure that you follow the necessary rules and regulations relating to your business. Make sure that your business is compliant in terms of all government regulations that it needs to be compliant with. For example, if you know that for your business you need to have a permit to operate your business that you need to obtain from the municipality, make sure that you are compliant with these laws and legislation. All of these basics make you behave in a manner that is professional. Professional behavior has also got what we call our elements of professional behavior or certain characteristics of professional behavior. These characteristics include loyalty, confidentiality, accuracy, politeness, efficiency, and product knowledge. In the next slide, we will unpack what each of these elements actually mean and how you can practice them within your business. Part of behaving professionally as an entrepreneur, as a business person, is understanding the elements of professionalism. These are unique characteristics that you need to possess as well as practice in your business. The elements of professional behavior include loyalty. What is loyalty? This means that you are able to be loyal and protect the interests of your business as well as protecting your company or your organizational name. It also includes confidentiality, treating all your business dealings with confidentiality, making sure that you do not divulge information that is confidential to the business. You do not divulge information relating to your customers, information relating to your products, to other external parties. It's also important that you practice accuracy or that you are accurate. By accuracy, we mean that you give accurate information about your product and your service, whether you are sharing that information with your customers or any other relevant stakeholder. Make sure that you provide accurate information that is truthful. Giving inaccurate information affects the credibility as well as the image of your organization. So make sure that you are truthful when it comes to giving information about your business or as well as your products or service. It's also important to practice politeness. It's important to be polite towards your customers. Always remember to use the following. Remember to say please. Remember to use words like thank you. Remember not to interrupt a customer when they are communicating with you. And most importantly, remember the names of your customers. By remembering the names of your customers, you are able to create a rapport with your customers. Within business, it's also important to be efficient. Many customers are always looking for efficiency. Efficiency is going to be a combination of being knowledgeable, being skillful, and also having a positive attitude. Efficiency in the business can be demonstrated by providing additional information to the customers and also doing more than what is expected. Most importantly, to show that you are a professional, it's important that you are knowledgeable about your product or your service. What does it mean to be knowledgeable about your product or service? It means that you are aware of all information that pertains to your product. You understand how your product works. You understand the product features. Improving your product knowledge means that you are able to become a better business person. How can you improve your product knowledge? You can read up more on your product or service. You can attend workshops or seminars, or you can attend trainings to make you better and more knowledgeable about the product or service that you are offering. Part of professional behavior is being able to introduce yourself. Remember that as a business person, on a day-to-day basis, you meet a number of new people and you must be able to introduce yourself with confidence. Failure to introduce yourself properly makes you look unprofessional. When you are introducing yourself, use a handshake. It's a form of non-verbal behavior. Use your right hand and give a firm handshake. You can use a handshake on arrival and at the end or at the departure stage of your meeting. When you are giving a person a handshake, look them in the eye, have eye contact, and remember to smile. Introduce yourself with confidence. Here are a few guidelines of how you can conduct introductions when you have to introduce other people. Make sure that you know the name and the surname of the person that you're introducing. Make sure that you use the correct pronunciation in terms of name and surname, and make sure that you use the correct title of the person you're introducing. Make sure you know their line of business so that you're able to introduce them well. Traditionally, a younger person is introduced to an older person, and someone of a lower status is introduced to someone of a higher status. When people are being introduced, both male and female, or both men or women, they are allowed to shake hands. A woman can remain seated when she is being introduced, except for when she is being introduced to an older woman or a more important person. The person who introduces each person must mention some points of mutual interest that will facilitate an ensuing conversation amongst the group. So when you're introducing people, mention something that is of interest or of mutual interest to each and every person so that you are able to spark a conversation amongst the group. As an entrepreneur, dress and grooming are very, very important. So you must dress appropriately and you must make sure that when you dress, you are presentable. Remember that if you are a professional person, you will always look neat and tidy, and you will always pay attention to your appearance. Dress is not only about your clothes, it's also about grooming, looking after your hair, looking after your nails, looking neat and tidy. Dress is an indication of professionalism. It shows your attitude and your general approach to life and your career. Remember, the first thing that your customers see before you are able to communicate are your clothes. So your clothes need to convey a certain message. You need to make sure that you are neat and tidy. Dress indicates self-image, self-respect, as well as respect for others. Make sure that you are covered appropriately. Make sure that your clothes cover certain body parts. Make sure that you pay attention to the fit of your clothes. Dressing appropriately not only enhances your own self-image and confidence, but it also enhances the image of the organization. Remember that you are representing the organization. When it comes to selecting clothes or selecting your dress code, you need to be mindful of color and fabric. When people look at you and they look at your clothes, the first thing that they see is color, and the second element that they see is fabric. When it comes to color, be mindful that certain darker colors convey a message of power, authority, and status, whereas lighter colors convey a message that you are more approachable and that you are more accommodating. So when selecting a certain color, be mindful of what type of message the color is going to convey. Fabric quality is the second thing that they notice from your clothes. So when selecting fabrics, pay careful attention to the type of fabric that you select. Fabrics such as natural fibers are associated with success and status, whereas synthetic fibers are associated with lower socioeconomic class. So pay attention to the fabric as well as color of the clothes that you wear. When it comes to dress code, there are certain factors that affect dress code. These factors range from gender, age, geographic location, culture, and industry. As an entrepreneur, you need to be mindful of these factors so that you can able to dress appropriately. When it comes to gender, remember that there are certain clothing items that are directed or specifically suitable for females, and there are certain clothing items that are specifically for males. So be mindful of the various clothing items for the different genders. Also be mindful of the certain type of fit as well as length of clothing items that are suitable for specific gender. Dress code is also influenced by age. There are certain clothing items that are suitable for a certain age group or for a certain age category. The way in which a younger person would dress is different to the way in which an older person dresses. So make sure that you dress appropriately for your age group. Make sure that your makeup and your hairstyles are also appropriate for your age group. Dress code is also affected by geographical location. In certain geographic locations, you may be expected to dress more formally and more conservatively, whereas in other geographical locations, you may be allowed to dress more casually and less conservatively. So as an entrepreneur, you need to understand the geographic location within which you operate in and dress appropriately for that geographic location. Dress code is also affected by culture. In certain cultures, they expect you to dress in a certain way. In certain cultures, you are expected to dress more conservatively. For example, if you are a woman, you may be expected to wear longer types of dresses. You may be expected to cover your head with a scarf. In certain cultures, dress code is more relaxed. You can wear any sort of clothing item provided that it's appropriate. So as an entrepreneur, you need to understand the culture within which you operate and dress appropriately for that culture. When it comes to certain industries, there are also certain rules when it comes to dress code. For example, if you're working within the corporate space or your business operates within the corporate space, you are expected to dress formally each and every day. You are even expected to wear certain colors to work. So you need to know about these certain colors so that you adhere to that specific dress code. In other industries, you may have a uniform that you need to wear to work. So you need to be mindful of the type of uniform as well as how the uniform should fit. So you need to understand the industry within you operate in. If you're operating within the informal industry or you're operating within retail or you own your small spaza shop or you're selling fruits to the community as a small convenience store, you may also have a uniform where you create t-shirts that are branded in the name of the organization and have that as your dress code. So understand the industry within which you operate in so that you can dress appropriately. Understand the culture that you operate in order to dress appropriately. And also understand the geographic location within which you operate in so that you can dress appropriately. Here are a few tips on dress and grooming etiquette. Always make sure that you look neat and tidy by wearing clean clothes, clean shoes, as well as making sure that your clothes are ironed. Wear suitable colors and fabrics. Remember, colors and fabrics convey a certain message. Dress appropriately. Dress as an adult. Dress appropriately for your age. Be mindful of piercings and tattoos. If you have any visible tattoos, make sure that those tattoos are covered. Practice good personal hygiene. What is good personal hygiene? Making sure that you take a bath, making sure that you brush your teeth, making sure that you use certain deodorants to make sure that you smell pleasantly. Keep hair neat and tidy. Use deodorant to avoid body odors, and make sure that you keep your nails trimmed, neat, and tidy. Remember that when it comes to dressing, it doesn't mean that you need to dress formally each and every day, but it's important that you look neat and tidy and that you look presentable. Now that we've come to the end of dress and grooming etiquette, let us do the following activity. Below is a picture that contains two images. The first image shows the wrong way to dress, and the other shows the correct or the right way to dress. Using what we've learned and what we've discussed, and using the two pictures, compile a list. On the list, you will have a column for what is acceptable clothing items and grooming etiquette, and on the other side of the list, you will compile what is unacceptable dress code and grooming etiquette. You can then use this list as a guidance on how you can dress appropriately for your business. In conclusion, in this module, we looked at the following. We first of all looked at what was business etiquette and the importance of business etiquette. It's important to practice good business etiquette in order to build relationships with your customer. We also looked at what were interpersonal skills. As an entrepreneur, it's important to develop as well as improve your interpersonal skills to ensure that you deliver good customer service. We then looked at what was professional behavior. Professional behavior is very, very important for your business, and it's important that you behave professionally and apply all the elements of professionalism in your business. Behaving professionally not only enhances your own personal image, but it also enhances the image of your business. If you behave professionally, your business will be seen as a professional business as well. We also looked at dress code and grooming. Dressing appropriately is essential. Remember, the first thing that your customers see is your appearance, so make sure that you dress appropriately. Lastly, remember that your behavior and your attitude is what your customer interacts with and forms opinions of your business. It's therefore important that you behave appropriately by using the correct business etiquette and also behaving professionally. This brings us to the end of Module 2, titled Business Etiquette and Professional Behavior. We hope that you have learned and gained from listening to this lesson. If you have any questions regarding the content or any concepts that were discussed in this module, you can go onto the Seda website, which is www.seda.org.za. Thank you very, very much for listening.